Level 1. You're not a billionaire. You're not a myth. You're a man who works double shifts at the docks in a city that forgot your name years ago. The absolute universe never gave you Wayne money or Wayne privilege, just Wayne rage. Crime took your father in an alley behind a factory, not a theater. No pearls, no opera, just a bloody time card and a police report that no one read twice. You build your gear with calloused hands, not R&D budgets. Your armor is reinforced workwear stitched with steel plates. Your car is a chopped-up muscle sedan running on stolen parts. You don't glide over Gotham's skyline. You sprint through back alleys, boots slamming into wet concrete, lungs burning from factory smoke. You don't have Lucius Fox. You have a mechanic who owes you your life and never asks why you need reinforced bumpers and illegal fuel cells. You don't hold back the way Bruce does. Criminals don't go to Arkham from your neighborhood. They go to the ICU or they disappear into the river. The cops call you a vigilante. The criminals call you a monster. The press calls you urban legend. None of them are wrong. You're Batman with no safety net, no corporate shield, no billions to fall back on. Just rage, pain, and a city that only notices you when you're breaking bones. You're not the Batman the world knows, but in your universe, you're the only thing standing between working-class families and the people who feed on them. Level 2. You're Bruce Wayne in reverse. On Earth 3, good and evil are inverted. The Justice League is a crime syndicate. The symbol in the sky doesn't mean hope, it's a warning. You grow up in a world where power always wins and heroes never show up. When your parents die, it doesn't break your faith in justice, it confirms your belief that justice never existed. You take the bat and turn it into an owl, a predator that watches and strikes from above. You form the crime syndicate with men and gods just as twisted as you. Ultraman instead of Superman, Superwoman instead of Wonder Woman. You don't protect Gotham, you own it. Every corrupt official, every rigged election, every accident that removes your enemies, your fingerprints are on all of it. You are Batman without the line. No rule against killing, no belief in redemption. You study Bruce Wayne's universe and laugh. In some worlds, the bat inspires hope. In yours, the owl reminds people that the night belongs to predators, and you are the cleverest one of all. Level 3. You start as Bruce Wayne, but slower than your enemies. Too slow to save Jason, too slow to save Barbara, too slow to stop the funerals from piling up. You live in a world where the rogues always get away and the people you love always die screaming. You stop believing in no powers as a rule. You start seeing it as a chain. You corner Barry Allen. You tell him you need the Speed Force to save everyone. He tells you it doesn't work like that. He tells you there are rules. You've heard enough rules for 10 lifetimes. You strap him to the Batmobile, ram the car into the Speed Force, and merge. Barry's voice lives in your head, begging you to stop, to think, to slow down. You never listen. Now you are Red Death. You move faster than your guilt. You phase through bodies, turn them to dust, rip through entire cities in minutes. You tell yourself that if you can just move fast enough, you can undo every mistake. But the faster you run, the more your world tears itself apart. You're not saving anyone, you're just accelerating the end. You're Batman's fear of being too late, cranked to multiversal maximum. Level 4. The gun goes off and Bruce dies in the alley. You don't. You and Martha are the ones left kneeling over a child's body. Grief cracks both of you, but it breaks in different directions. Martha laughs until she screams and screams until she laughs. You watch the woman you love peel back into something else. She becomes the Joker. You become Batman. You don't have Bruce's restraint. You don't have his time. Your Gotham is louder, bloodier, and drowning in a war between Atlanteans and Amazons. You open a casino to pull crime into one place where you can see it, and you break bones in the back rooms between hands of blackjack. You work with criminals because you don't believe anyone is clean. You carry guns. You kill. You don't pretend there's another way. When Barry Allen from another timeline shows up, babbling about a world where your son lived and became Batman, something in you shifts. You help him fix the timeline knowing it will erase you, erase everything you built. You write a letter to a son who doesn't know you, telling him to be happy, to find love, to live a life you never could. You die so that somewhere your boy gets a second chance under a sky that isn't on fire.
Level 5.
You're not Bruce Wayne. You're a kid from Neo-Gotham, a city where skyscrapers pierce clouds and crime comes with a Wi-Fi signal. You grow up thinking Batman is a rumor your father tells you to make you feel safer at night. Then your father is murdered and the rumor opens the door of a mansion on a hill. Bruce is older now, bitter, broken. He tried to be Batman until his heart and his body quit on him. He put the suit away, he let Gotham slide into neon rot. You steal the suit because no one else will save your family. The first time you fly over the city in a black and red blur, you understand why Bruce never stopped until his body forced him. The suit enhances your strength, speed, and agility. It carries cloaking tech, built-in comms, batarangs that respond to thought. But the voice in your ear is still an old man with a lifetime of scars and rules. You're Batman in a world of hackers, AI, and corporate empires that make crime families look small. You fight Joker's gangs, rogue AIs, and villains who've upgraded from knives to nanotech. You balance school, family, and patrols, trying not to lose yourself in the mask. Bruce sees you as a second chance to fix what he broke. You see him as a ghost of the future you're trying to avoid. You inherit the legend and try to prove that the Bat can evolve without becoming a monster.
Level 6. You become the man on the gargoyle. Billionaire by day, detective by night. Human in a world of gods. You study every discipline you can find. Martial arts, criminology, chemistry, escape artistry, languages, engineering. You forge yourself into the thing that scared you most, so no one else has to feel that fear again. Your rogues are legends: Joker, Two-Face, Riddler, Bane, Ra's al Ghul. You refuse to kill them even when it would be easier, even when it would end years of blood. The line is the only thing standing between you and the monsters you fight. You build a family around you: Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, Damian. Kids and allies who remind you that you're not alone, even when you act like you are. You have contingency plans for everyone, including your friends in the Justice League. You keep kryptonite in the cave in case Superman falls. You keep files on everyone's weaknesses because you've seen too many good people go bad. To gods, you're just a man in a suit. To Gotham, you're the only thing standing between it and the dark. To yourself, you're still the boy in the alley, trying to make sure the gun never fires again.
Level 7. You are in Neo-Gotham. Older, colder. This, Bruce, is what happens when the mission never stops until the body does. One night, on a rooftop, you reach for a gun to survive. That's the moment you know it's over. The line you swore you'd never cross is suddenly within reach. You hang up the cape because the alternative is becoming everything you fought. Years pass in a mansion full of ghosts. Every room is a memory. Every empty costume in the cave is a failure you can still name. You walk with a cane. You talk to the dog more than you talk to people. Then Terry forces his way into your life and into the suit. You try to push him away. You fail. You become the voice in his ear, the gruff mentor who knows exactly how much this life will take and can't quite bring himself to tell him to stop. You are Batman after the city moves on. You're the living epilogue of your own myth, watching a new kid repeat your story with new villains and new tech. You train him, you yell at him, you save his life more times than he knows. You also see every mistake you ever made replayed and read in black. You're not the one on the rooftop anymore. You're the shadow in the cave, running out of time to make sure the bat symbol means hope after you're gone.
Level 8.
You go further. Darkseid's anti-life. Tower of Babel contingencies gone wrong. Stories where your paranoia becomes prophecy and your plans almost end the world. You become the man who can outthink gods, but also the one who can break them if you ever decide they're a threat. You sit in Mobius chairs, wield artifacts, step into timelines where Bruce Wayne is both savior and existential risk. You always tell yourself it's about control, about making sure the world doesn't spiral without someone like you watching the board. But every step into that realm tightens the circle around prime reality. The more power you touch, the closer you get to being something that can't come back. The only thing that saves your universe is the part of you that still remembers that boy in the alley. In some worlds, he loses. In yours, he's barely hanging on.
Level 9.
You are in the nightmare now. It took over merch, covers, and multiverse events for a reason. On Earth 22, the Joker pushes you too far. He kills your allies, infects children with his toxin, turns Gotham into a staged atrocity. You break. You kill him. As he dies, a final toxin infects you, rewiring your brain to merge your mind with his. You keep your genius, your training, your plans. You lose your morality. You become the Batman who laughs. You see every multiverse as a playground and every Bruce as raw material. You recruit dark multiverse Batmans twisted by their own fears, Red Death, Devastator, and more to wage war on the main DC Earth. You wear a visor to block out the worst of what you've become, but it doesn't help. You are Batman's discipline wrapped around Joker's cruelty. You orchestrate crises that drag gods to their knees. You turn yourself into the darkest night, absorbing cosmic power that should never belong to a human mind. You are the logical endpoint of Bruce Wayne if you strip out the pain and leave only obsession and creativity with no breaks. In a universe built on prep time solves everything, you are prep time turned into a horror story.
Level 10.
You've seen yourself in more mirrors than any other hero. Working-class vigilante, corporate crime lord, speed monster, grieving father, neo-Gotham successor, prime detective, old man mentor, cosmic planner, Joker-tainted god. Every version is a different answer to the same question. What happens when one trauma-shocked kid decides he has to fix the world alone? Some of you die in alleys, some of you die in casinos, some of you never die at all, trapped in endless loops of crisis. But the pattern never really changes. There is always a Gotham, there is always a knight, there is always a child looking up at a symbol and deciding what it means. Somewhere, in some universe, another Bruce, or Terry, or Thomas, or absolute nobody in a workman's jacket puts on a mask with pointed ears and steps into the dark, thinking he understands the cost. He doesn't. He will. The cycle begins again.